Hey, it's Kevin. Thanks for coming by for another Road Warrior. We're just a couple of days away here in Tennessee for our midterm elections. I think everybody's on the same schedule for the midterms, I think. I'll be honest with you, I mean, what does it really matter if we're not where you are? All that matters is we are where I am. For years, I was pretty apolitical. I voted on and off, then stopped voting for a while, and then started voting again in the last few years. Because I think as I got older and I realized politicians were no longer looking out for my best interest. I'm not in the majority anymore. I'm an old timer. I'm looking to my future and wanting to make sure all those healthcare things and all those Medicare and Social Security and all those issues, the senior citizen issues, are now the ones I care about. Sure, I want the world to be around for the future generations. I want my nieces and nephews to have a good life, but I'll be honest with you, I'm really more worried about my life versus anybody else's. And I think we all go through that. And so I think now it's more important for me to vote than ever before. And I don't begrudge anybody whether they want to vote, they don't want to vote, doesn't really matter. It's just, well, it does matter. As a buddy of mine said, and he's a Republican, he said, you know, if you're a Republican, vote on the 6th. If you're a Democrat, vote on the 7th. Ha ha, very funny. I just want to see if we can get everybody out to vote, what the reality would be. I know in these, you know, we voted like 6 times this year. And in city elections and in state elections, it's usually not a big deal. They're not a big turnout. Usually up to 40% of the voting populace, and that's about it. During a midterm where you're voting for the real state senator and you're voting, in our case, for the governor, it's maybe up to 60%. But it's never up to 100%. Even when you vote presidential elections anymore, it's not that big a deal, even though it is that big a deal who you're voting for. I would just love to see what the population really was like. In the past presidential election, they got the right wing, the Trump supporters out to vote. Or in the election before with Obama, you got the minorities, the women, the young people, they voted. And it's always funny that well, I'll vote when there's a candidate I'm interested in, but I won't vote when I'm not. And I could be just as guilty as that over the years too. But I think now it's more about, where is this country going? I don't know. I'm a middle-aged white man, so I know how I'm expected to vote, but there's some things I agree with the right wing on and some things I agree with the left wing on. I'm right split in the middle between Republican and Democrat. I'm very confused as a voter because I don't see people thinking like I think. I'm also learning a lot about my friends and how, well, I realize they don't think anything like I think. Right, wrong, or indifferent. That's just the reality. They don't care about what I care about, and that's important. So I'm getting out and doing my thing and voting, and I encourage you to do the same whether we agree or not. I know I've not even said what I'm going to vote for or who I'm going to vote for. It doesn't matter. Just getting out and letting your voice be heard, and trying to at least, you know, pay attention to some of the smaller races that you don't necessarily know. You know, my local representative is running. I'm not a big fan, but he's the best choice, so I'm going to vote for him. But just learning about those people, taking the time to do a little research. There's a lot of false information out there. We got to do our part to make sure the right information gets out and the right people get elected, no matter what side of the coin you're on. Back next week, another Road Warrior, kevinmason.us. It's the website for all the Road Warrior video blogs. Also throw them up on YouTube, throw them up on Facebook. I thank you for coming by this week. I thank you for indulging my get out the vote message. Hope you'll come back next week. A little bit lighter fare, I expect. See you next week, another Road Warrior. Thanks.